Gang truce was effective because we had cry-outs through our ancestors. We had cry-outs through a lot of people was asking us. Even, one thing that the funeral home said, and I can't remember what funeral home said, Ronald. He said, "We are tired of your service, black people. We are tired of burying young people. You are dying before your parents. You are dying before your grandparents. We don't even want your service anymore." The funeral services were saying that to us. We barely needed, we was doing a genocide to ourselves. We needed the gang truth. Just like we needed the Million Man March, we needed the gang truth, because we had that self-hatred in us.
The people down there are taught to fear young black men. Same way that a young black man, he walks the streets and minds his business and does what he does, they train them. They train their women. They train their children to avoid. There's an article in the National Review that came out yesterday. Today is the 24th, am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, there's an article in the National Review, if I'm not mistaken, it came out July the 23rd. And in that article, it's stating how a white guy talked to his kids regarding race. And one of the things he's telling his kids is stay away from the heavy concentrations of black people or something like that there. But in reality, what it is that, this is the conditioning. Not only did he give his son, but it's the conditioning that, more of these conservative types are giving their sons. Because of the fact that racism doesn't exist. It's just the dialogue. Now, we want to talk about it as black people, but there's a certain amount of white people that don't.
When you first heard the not guilty verdict, how did you feel about it against for George Zimmerman?
It was a total injustice on my part because of the fact that just following the case and being aware of the circumstances of the case and everything that took place. Trayvon Martin was killed by this man. This man approached him and armed to start with. This man, as far as Trayvon Martin, this man was a stalker, a serial killer, anything. We don't even know if George Zimmerman even identified himself as a neighborhood watch. We don't know who he said or what he said. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he probably tried to restrain Trayvon Martin because he knew the police were coming. So, through that and by that, taking into consideration, you're in Trayvon Martin's position. Are you going to sit there and allow this person to restrain you? Because otherwise, what is George Zimmerman going to do getting out of the car? He's getting out of the car. He know the police is coming. Is he going to get out the car and say he went that way? Or is he going to get out the car and he's going to try to restrain? I mean, this is only theoretical because, like I say, only Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman know this. But for whatever other reason would you be getting out of the car? Trayvon Martin had the right to defend himself, the same way that Zimmerman had that right. But as far as Zimmerman was the antagonist within this because of the fact that he was the one that approached after being instructed not to. So through that and by the verdict being not guilty and him being acquitted, that was a total injustice.
At what point did you realize that, there was a need for change, a transition, or something to give back and help your people?
Well, when I looked around in the community, we were all hurting each other one by one. One black man falling here, one black man falling there. But when I got outside the neighborhood and I started walking around these different areas and I'm meeting guys from 60s and 40s and 30s and different sets, and I started noticing like we all think alike, but we just grew up in different areas. So I got myself with these different groups of guys and I started saying like, dang, this is different than being stuck on one street and one block and being known as this in your area. But what are you outside your area? Once you get outside your area, who knows you?
The craziest thing I remember from the LA riots that was crazy to me was when I was on at Fairco, and I just seen people looting, grinding, and I just seen the police just sitting there. And when they was just sitting there, not doing nothing, I've never experienced that before. Seeing the civil unrest, seeing people robbing, stealing, and looting, and the police just sitting there watching. But another crazy thing to me was the National Guard coming up in our communities. Was them their guns out, drawing out, pulling cars over, telling them we got a curfew. That's what was the craziest thing I
This is
seen.
Beirut. They did it to me.
Yeah, like it was Beirut.
They
pulled me over.
They pulled guns on me and made me get out of my car looking for guns.
Same thing they did to me. 11 o'clock at night. I'm a grown man. Yeah, that was the craziest thing I seen. I owe a debt. God gave me another chance to be able to stay on this earth and give a testimony on the things that I've been through. So I'm here to clean up what I messed up and to go and give it back to the community. I'm leading the Crips to Christ, leading the bangers to the Bible, leading the hardest to holiness. That's what I do. And I'm not looking for no funding. I just want to make sure that I'm doing what God has called me to do, because I know it's a plan and a purpose and a promise for my life out of all the things that I done been through. I know I shouldn't even be here right now. So I know it's a debt that I gotta pay.
Oh, I know I didn't get a whole lot in my life. But I accepted Jesus. That's my purpose. So whatever happens to me right now, or tonight, or tomorrow, I know where my soul is. Do you know? Do you know where you are? I extend that invitation to anybody that hears.
Around 18, I used to run pounds of weed across different states. I would jump on the planes, maybe have 10, 15 on me at a time. And I'm in different states. I'm in Ohio, I'm in Nebraska, I'm in Atlanta. I'm running this shit by myself. One pistol, I'm meeting people from different states. And as I'm doing this, I have no backing, so I'm my own backing. My job was to come back with whatever I said I'd come back with, which I'm standing on the backbone all alone, you know what I'm saying, with one pistol. And I'm coordinating with my buddy, you know what I'm saying, he RIP-ing it now to this day. And I'm telling him, hey man, I'm out here all alone. I got this shit, they trying to get me, you know what I'm saying, how you want me to handle it? He said, man, you need to bring mine back. What you mean bring it back? I need you to bring all of it back. My money, you know.
What if Trayvon Martin was of age, armed, and able to stand his ground against George Zimmerman? What would the outcome have been? What if Trayvon Martin had been white and George Zimmerman had been black? What would the outcome have been? You see, it's kind of confusing, but it's something that needs to be spoken of. There's a dialogue that is necessary, because this is an injustice that is inflicted upon the black man, the black youth, young black men. Because shit, most of those that I mentioned aren't even over 18 or 19. But this is an atrocity that is inflicted upon our young black people. I'm a black father and I got a black son. I worry about my son every motherfucking time he walks out the door. And I'm gonna work, because I understand. I understand that a young black man, hair braided, white t-shirt on, wearing a fucking hoodie, is gonna be racially profiled. I understand and I know this. I have to explain this to my son regularly. My son thinks it's a fucking broken record as much as I speak. But I have to arm him with the information that is needed and necessary whenever he walks out the front door, because I don't want him to be the victim of some ignorant son of a bitch like George Zimmerman. I don't want my son to be someone that's mistaken for a robber and end up dead like Kendrick McDade. I don't want a motherfucker to say he reached and I shot him because I feared for my life. And you didn't know what the fuck he was doing or who the fuck he was after. I don't want my son to be a victim. Like Oscar Grant. You know, in that BART station. On his face. Handcuffed behind his back. With an ignorant son of a bitch with a pistol. Pulls it out and shoots him in the back, murdering him in front of a station full of people. What is the fate of the black men in America?
Black men in America is the most hated in this world. Just because of this color. He always has struggled, and he probably always will struggle until we unite together as a people, as a black people. If that doesn't happen, we'll always be going down, not up or down. So we will have to unite together. The black man will have to look at his brother, and love his brother, help his brother, respect his brother, love himself, for us to exist. We have to help each other, or we'll be doomed.